Deep in the Indonesian archipelago, there is a chain of remote volcanic islands. Cut off from the world, this isolated environment operates on its own evolutionary timeline. In a typical biology textbook, reptiles follow a strict set of limitations. They are expected to be sluggish, relying entirely on the sun for body heat, with reproduction dependent on male and female mating. Those rules do not apply to the creature that rules these islands. At over 300 pounds and stretching 10 feet long, the Komodo dragon is the largest living lizard on Earth. Its body is built for destruction. It utilizes a long, flat skull, bowed, highly muscular legs, and thick, overlapping armored scales that function like biological chainmail. Beyond its physical dimensions, the animal operates as a series of biological rule breaks. It defies how predators should hunt, how a reptile's heart should beat, and how life itself is created. The Komodo dragon hasn't maintained its status as an apex predator by following nature's established laws. It survives by systematically dismantling them. Take the way it hunts. Instead of wasting energy chasing down a deer or wild pig, the Komodo operates as an ambush predator. It will tuck itself into the dry grass and remain motionless for hours. When an animal wanders close enough, the dragon strikes in a single violent burst of energy, using serrated teeth to tear through flesh in seconds. While the physical strike is devastating, the true lethal weapon is found in its mouth. The saliva is laced with toxic proteins and bacteria, causing immediate and severe infection. If the prey manages to escape the initial bite, the animal weakens over several days, while the dragon follows behind, calmly and unhurried. This toxic biological warfare allows the massive reptile to minimize its caloric expenditure, creating a scenario where a lethal outcome is nearly certain with very little effort. The sustained muscle mass and stamina required to dominate these islands stands in direct conflict with the typical limitations of a cold-blooded animal. Technically, reptiles are ectothermic. Their internal body temperature is regulated by their environment, which typically restricts their ability to sustain high-energy activity over long periods. On the left is the sluggish circulation typical of reptiles. On the right is the Komodo dragon's high-output mammalian-style flow. Looking at its genetic sequence, scientists discovered adaptations powering this engine, blurring the boundary between reptiles and mammals. This physiological adaptation provides the dragon with the endurance and needs it never in its habitat, all without the heavy daily metabolic cost of true warm-bloodedness. But the strangest adaptation was confirmed in 2006 inside an enclosure at England's Chester Zoo. A female Komodo dragon was living in total isolation, having never mated with a male. Despite that isolation, she produced a clutch of viable eggs, and those eggs successfully hatched. Biologists call this phenomenon Parthenogenesis, which translates to virgin birth. When no males are present, a solitary female essentially splits her own genetic material to fertilize her eggs, bypassing a mate entirely. But there is a twist. This self-fertilization naturally results only in male offspring. If a solitary female gives birth to sons, those males can grow to maturity and then mate with the mother to rapidly generate a fully diverse breeding population. It is a ruthless reproductive cycle, yet it serves as a brilliant failsafe. Even if a single female washes ashore on an entirely empty island, the species can survive. Pulling back to view these remote volcanic islands, you begin to see how this harsh, resource-scarce environment demanded extreme biological solutions. The result is a creature that requires no high-speed chase, powers its cold-blooded body with a mammalian heart, and requires no mate to conquer new territory. The Komodo dragon represents a flawlessly engineered, self-sustaining biological weapon, its anatomy optimized for survival in an unforgiving landscape. It walks through these islands completely unbothered by the biological constraints that govern the rest of the animal kingdom. It proves that nature is not bound by a rigid set of rules. It has only one absolute mandate: survival by any means necessary.